Now it's time for your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, June 18th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. President of the U.S. Marijuana Party, William A. Chengelis, better known to marijuana law reformers as Wayward Bill, has been arrested on charges of distribution of a dangerous controlled substance by Washington, D.C. federal police, according to reports from Denver's John Doe Radio. Tim Martin reports that Chengelis and federal marijuana patient Irvin Rosenfeld were initially detained, but Rosenfeld was soon released without arrest. Chengelis is scheduled for a bond hearing this afternoon on charges of allegedly passing a cannabis-medicated candy to a patient on federal property, according to Martin. According to NORML, under federal law, distribution of a small amount of marijuana for no remuneration is treated as possession. The penalties for first-time possession under federal law are a misdemeanor with a possible 1 year in prison and $1,000 fine. Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum endorses bill legalizing medical marijuana outlets. This from OregonLive.com. A bill that would legalize medical marijuana retail outlets in Oregon has snagged a high-profile endorsement, Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum. Rosenblum sent a letter this month to Senator Floyd Przansky, Democrat of Eugene, and Representative Peter Buckley, Democrat of Ashland, urging them to pass HB 3460 legislation that would create a registry of state-licensed medical marijuana retail outlets. Oregon already is home to a booming medical marijuana retail industry where the state's estimated 53,000 patients can walk into a club or collective with cash and walk out with cannabis. Those establishments are not regulated or licensed by the state. She wrote, quote, "These facilities operate in a climate of uncertain legality, and the absence of a clear regulatory structure makes ensuring compliance with the law difficult," end quote. Rosenblum added that the bill would ensure that anyone with a valid Oregon medical marijuana card would, quote, "be able to obtain medical marijuana safely, predictably, promptly, and legally." New Hampshire nears approval of medical marijuana law from Reuters.com. New Hampshire is set to become the final state in New England to allow medical marijuana after negotiators from the Republican-controlled Senate and Democratic-controlled House agreed Tuesday on a bill backed by Governor Maggie Hassan. The law would allow for up to 4 marijuana dispensaries to open as soon as 2015. Patients with cancer, HIV, glaucoma, and other diseases would be eligible to purchase the drug with state-issued identity cards. A provision in a version of the bill passed by the New Hampshire House that would have allowed patients to cultivate their own marijuana was stripped from the compromise bill, said Matt Simon, a New Hampshire-based legislative analyst for the Marijuana Policy Project. The compromise bill also bars the use of medical marijuana for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder and limits most medical providers to treating 5 medical marijuana patients at any one time. Medical cannabis patients will rally in Olympia to save medical cannabis in Washington state, from the SanJuanislander.com. Residents that use cannabis as medicine from all over the state of Washington will be gathering in Olympia at the Capitol campus Wednesday, June 19th, and their message is clear. Medical cannabis patients are angry about an amendment that was quietly slipped into the state Senate and House budget bills that would put the control of their medical fate in the hands of the State Liquor Control Board. The amendment could fundamentally change every section of the state's current medical cannabis laws. These regulations would include limits on age, the amount of medication a patient could have, which conditions would qualify, where they could get their medication, and who could actually grow it. The Liquor Control Board has already stated publicly that they believe the tax-free status of cannabis as a medication would be a threat to the Liquor Control Board's projected revenue stream from recreational marijuana sales. Current state law does not tax medications that require a health care provider's signature. This law could single out cannabis as the only medication in the state targeted for taxation. Drug testing for food stamps and 10 other GOP amendments to the Farm Bill from MSNBC.com. The House of Representatives takes up debate on the Farm Bill Tuesday, which in its current form cuts $20.5 billion from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, better known as food stamps. Those cuts are already estimated to end benefits for about 2 million people who are already part of the program, but some of the amendments proposed by Republicans could make it even harder for many more Americans to get access to the assistance they need. Many Republicans have pushed for a drug testing requirement for welfare recipients in recent years, and North Carolina Republican Richard Hudson is the lead co-sponsor on an amendment that would allow all states to create the same requirement for food stamp recipients as well. Missouri's Ann Wagner is leading on an amendment to extend a lifetime ban on food stamp benefits for dangerous felons. Republican Austin Scott of Georgia thinks that amendment doesn't go far enough and introduces one that adds drug-related felony to the reasons to deny food stamps for life. This has been your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, June 18th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines to look at hemp in the state of Maine. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org.